This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena. And folks, it is June 25th, 2021, and I've got my 65th guest of the year. I'm going to tell you, I was so depressed in 2020, like all of us, because of the pandemic, but I had done 30 interviews up until March 18th of 2020 for that year, and I was like, oh, and I had so many people waiting.
Mm.
And wow, I was so downtrodden, and I went the rest of the year without doing any interviews. But Nancy McLaughlin said, if she can do Zoom, I can do Zoom, and she was right. And my brother, my tech guy, got me hooked up, and here I am. And I think I'm doing even better this year than I even did had last year, even doubled. So very happy with this setup. Don't know when I'll be back in station. When I do, I'll bring the flash drive and plug these in, and here we go. But in the meantime, I have a three-time guest on here. He's been out in the bone garden doing a lot of weeding and watching his shadows.
That's right.
Yes, and getting ready to put in some wood floors.
God willing. God willing.
Folks, I give
Mm.
you the guy that connected me with one of the most beautiful women ever. And I definitely thank him for that. Folks, I give you the awesome
Mhm.
Mike Gutridge, the director of the Bone Garden. How do you do, Mike?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
You know what? It's
Mhm.
nice to have you on here again. Yeah. I didn't even know it was going to happen because I know I put that Facebook thing out there a while ago because of scheduling and whatnot. But I was like, no, I got to have Mike on.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I know there's a few people that I won't be having on, but nonetheless, I'm glad to have you back for a three time. So
Yeah.
yeah. And I also, of course, I said on the second interview, I'm going to say it again. A special thanks to you. I got to interview Tracy Savage.
Yeah. Icon Tracy Savage.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh man, I think she's gorgeous. I still think she's gorgeous, and
Inside and out too. She's a great person. She really
yeah.
is.
So every once in a while, I'll send her a message. Um, but nonetheless, she said she'd three-peat this show, so I'm looking forward to having her back.
Oh, great.
Usually it's twice on Boxing Day I've had her, so I'm like, yeah, that sounds a great way to end the years with
Yeah,
talking to
absolutely.
Tracy. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, and of course, I told Tracy, I said, I spent a lot of money on 13 Fanboy because of her.
Oh, yeah. That's money well spent.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a co-producer on 13 Fanboy.
Oh, cool.
And
When's
because
that coming?
supposed to be August 13th.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
cool. Friday 13th. Very cool.
I've had Debbie Sue on here, Debbie Sue Voorhees on here four times.
Oh,
And
great.
I'll have her on a fifth this year, um, Lord willing. I um but I remember when she mentioned Tracy Savage was going to be in this, I was like, okay, my wallet is opening. But
Good.
and my picture's going to be in a scene with her as well, so
Oh, good.
that's
Awesome
going to be
sauce.
awesome. And I've been told by Riley C. Morris, one of the executive producers, he said to me, because he's supposed to come on here, but he's waiting for distribution news.
Okay.
He said, I recognize you.
Mm.
I guess my profile picture from Facebook must be in the movie. Because I recognize your picture. He said it's in there. And he said it's a bit bloody, but it's there.
Awesome. Very cool.
So I guess my picture's not just there in passing. It's gonna get bloody. And since Nora Hewitt is doing the gore effects, and she was one of Tom Savini's students,
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm like, I'll take that. Like, I feel like I just got knighted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Very cool.
So nonetheless, I appreciate you setting me up with Tracy Savage. I enjoyed having her on here, and she told me I make her feel good. I
Oh,
said, with
good.
all the nice, sweet nothings I say to her.
Uh-huh. That's great.
Anyway, I know you got a copy of the Bone Garden there. Hold that up because I can't find mine stashed away here. There
Yeah,
you go. I love this. When's this coming on Blu-ray?
yeah. I don't know. I wish the distributor would do that. That'd be really nice. But right now it's not even, they're working on deals to get it back on Amazon Prime and I think Hulu and stuff. But right now you can't even watch it. I mean, I don't know when this will air, but as of June 2021, you can't see it anywhere. So that our friend Scotty was able to get one on eBay. It's on eBay and it's on like the Amazon Marketplace, the hard copy DVD. But hopefully, in the next few months it'll be back out. The distributor Camp Motion Pictures is working on that. So, you know,
Well,
fingers crossed.
I got everything boxed away here. See,
Hmm.
my folks are both terminally ill. I was the last one out of my childhood home. I was there for 47 and a half years, and I often joke with people. It got so bad, my parents had to move out. I was gonna leave, they would, but they had to move into my grandparents' old place because there's less steps, and we sold the house I grew up in, and actually, my cat was the last one out of there. He stayed a
Okay.
few extra days, but
Uh-huh.
nonetheless, I here temporarily, which is why everything is just all scattered behind me, you know.
Uh-huh.
But I got all my disc and whatnot all like packed away here. So
Hmm.
I shouldn't have been in this apartment this long. I should have been in, but COVID prevented, like, threw a damper in everybody's plans, and I know it's
Oh
threw them
yeah.
into yours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but nonetheless, the plan is my brother and his wife live upstairs. I live downstairs with my kitty, my trusty kitty,
Hmm.
who I don't know if will make an appearance here, but
Hmm.
nonetheless,
They usually do. Cats love to be on camera.
oh,
They leave
mine
you alone,
don't.
you start your meeting, and they're all over
Mine
you.
don't. But nonetheless, when hopefully when that happens, I'll be to spice things up behind me in terms of my background. But yeah, I do have my Friday the 13th Part 3 shirt on here.
Awesome sauce.
I
Love
figured,
it.
a little Tracy Savage love here.
Hmm.
Get that little
Tracy,
blood.
Paul. That's a
Hmm.
lot of people's favorite installment. Mine, no offense to Tracy's always been part one, but part three is a lot of people's favorite. I don't know if it's yours or not in the whole franchise.
Part
Most.
one, part one, I have a problem with when something I found out about it, and it ticked me off, and it makes it hard to watch it. Is the
What's
fact
that?
that Sean Cunningham is such an incompetent director. He had to stoop to killing a live snake in that scene.
Ah, okay, yeah,
They
yeah.
killed a living creature. Cannibal Holocaust is controversial because it killed several animals.
Yeah, yeah.
And I say incompetent filmmaker because several kills in that movie were off screen.
Hmm.
Ned was off screen, Brenda was off screen,
Bill.
Bill was off screen. Several people were off screen kills.
Hmm.
So why do you got to kill a snake for real on screen? All you had to
Okay.
do was have him bring the machete down and have
Hmm.
them react. You would have had the same scene, and you wouldn't have to kill an innocent creature to do it. Now, I'm not a vegetarian. I'm not going to preach about that, but I also don't run around killing animals to further my career either.
Uh-huh.
So I've interviewed three people from the original. Unfortunately, Ron Milkey has not been one of them because he's never gotten back to me.
Uh-huh.
But I've had Adrian King, Robbie Morgan, and Victor Miller on. Victor Miller's been on here 3 times.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Hopefully they'll work out all that litigation and be able to make another installment of that series. I know there's some lawsuits going on. It's unfortunate, but
Yeah. Well, Victor said he wrote the scene with the snake, but he agrees with me. There's a difference between writing it and how you execute it.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not impressed when I heard that. And
Mhm.
it was after my interview with Adrian King, because I think I brought it up to the other people I've interviewed, but that from the original, but it makes the original a little harder to get through because it's there
Mhm.
was no I can't think of the reason why they would have to do that.
Mhm.
So
I started to relate more to the original after I became a parent because I could relate to the premise, which was a woman driven mad over the loss of her child. I thought, oh yeah, you know what I mean. So and it still has a wonderful creepy effect. Great location, perhaps the best location of all of them. That Camp Novi Bosco was really, really, it was really great. Of course, I love it when they, when future gigantic stars are in these little movies. Of course, Kevin Bacon, Jamie Lee in Halloween, Johnny Depp in the original Elm Street. I think it's on Amazon Prime. It might be on Netflix, but I watched Leprechaun for the first time in like 30 years, and there's little Jennifer Aniston, in Leprechaun. It's so great. So I like when they start out, and so many legendary, iconic actors start out in these little horror films. I mean, across the board. Even Steve McQueen, I think, was in The Blob or something. So it's neat when you can see that. Crispin Glover in Friday Part Four. The list goes on and on and on. So it's
do
fun.
you have the box set?
Oh, of course, yeah.
I do
Even though
too.
like 10 times over, my wife's like, we got to get you that for Christmas. I understand. She's like, honey, you already have these films. I said, yeah, but these are the 4K transfers. I'm a total film geek, film nerd. 4K transfers to anyone on the street is like, they look at you like, what? But no, it's great. It's a great box set. And I'm glad, I was able to get it.
Yeah. No, I got the box set. I think the best one of the franchise, technically, I think is Jason Lives.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's certainly the best sequel. No offense to the other sequels.
It,
I'm a huge
it's
fan.
got a lot of stuff in it. I mean,
Well,
you got
know
car
from
chase in it. You got
I know from making my little films that a director's personality shows through in their film, his or her
hmm
film. And you can tell from watching that movie that Tommy McLaughlin loves movies and loves filmmaking and has a passion for it. And I mean this lovingly. He has he's like a kid with their first camera. Sam Raimi has that panache too. And you can just tell Tommy was having a blast. He wanted to make almost like this Hammer film. And a friend of mine did what he suggested in one of the countless documentaries I've watched. Tommy suggests turning your color off and watching it in black and white. And it plays like one of those old graveyard horror films. And it does. I've done that with, I've actually done that with the original, and I did it with part 6. And it's neat. If you haven't done that yet, watch part 6 with no color. And it plays like this cool old black and white film. It's really neat. So yeah, I've always been a champion of part 6 since I saw it in the theater. That's how old I am. I saw it in the theater when it came out. And I've always been a huge, it's definitely probably, with all due respect to the other filmmakers and writers, it's certainly my favorite sequel, and certainly my favorite Undead Jason sequel, when he comes back from the grave. So
I
great.
actually saw part 6 in 2019 when I was in Toronto. They did a midnight screening of it, and
Oh,
I had to see this in the theater.
yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah,
It
absolutely.
was an interesting crowd. I remember I put a post on Facebook about it, and the following night I went to a Christmas party with Lisa Langlois, who um, I'm connected with in Toronto. And while I was at the Christmas party, my phone rings. And it was Nancy McLaughlin.
Oh, wow. Love her. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, Nancy's awesome.
Don't leave home without it. That's what I always, every time I think of her.
I know. And
Mhm.
actually, I should show you something because Nancy had sent me something with my little name on it with a happy face.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Oh, very cool. She made that, right? I know her husband.
One of her friend has done this. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know Tommy put something on Facebook about how she was doing stuff like that. I think there's even a jacket or something with the mask on it that they have.
Mm,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Yep. So
You can send me that if you want to. That'd be nice.
yeah. I got the second one. Jason Bradford, I think he got the first one. So but
Mhm.
yeah, I she sent me that. Actually, I got another little gem I should show you too that you'll you'll love.
Okay.
I should show you. It's right over here. in my 13 fanboy tote bag
Oh, very cool.
with gorgeous Tracy Savage right down there.
Yeah.
And this is back when Tom Matthews was still involved with the film.
Oh, did he not do it?
Scheduling issues.
Oh, okay. Dan schedule.
Yeah, he and Adrian King both had to pull out.
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh, very cool. Very nice. Yeah.
and signed.
Oh, yeah. By CJ, or I can't see who's.
Nope. Ted White.
Oh, Ted White. He's my favorite Jason. With all due
He's
respect,
my favorite.
with all due respect, they all brought something to the table, but Ted White was my favorite.
Ted
And
White, I
that same
think, was the
Jeff
scariest.
Green. So you gotta love that.
Well, he's been on my show twice. Ted White
Yeah.
has. Yep. And
He's the deer hunter in Starman. He gets to
yeah,
punch
I
out
know.
the same year he beat up Jeff Bridges. I was like, wow, Jeff punched out Jason.
Actually, he said Jeff Bridges is one of his favorite actors he's worked with.
Jeff's a poem. I know several people who've worked with Jeff, and no one's ever said a bad thing about him. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Last time I saw Ted was at a convention, and it was so cool. We spent about 20 minutes talking about Kurt Russell's father, Bing Russell. I'm a huge Kurt fan. Kurt's my boy. And Ted was like, oh, I knew his father, Bing, because, he was doing stunts on Bonanza, Ted was.
Mhm.
And so we talked about Bing Russell for a while. So that was really neat.
You know what? I'm a big fan of Kirk's son Wyatt because he
Yeah,
was in Everybody Wants Some, which I saw 9 times in the theater.
that's a great film. Yeah. He's in
I
that.
love that.
I'm a huge fan of Wyatt. He's great.
And he looks so much like his dad.
It's disturbing. Yeah. God, it's almost unnerving. Yeah.
Yep. But I went to the theater. I saw Everybody Wants Some 9 times, and I love that film. I loved it even more than Dazed and Confused, which it
Okay.
was. Yep, which it was a spiritual follow up to. So,
Sure.
but and I love Dazed and Confused, but Everybody Wants Some. That soundtrack, everything just took me back. And
Oh,
when something
totally.
can do that, it's got you. And Everybody Wants Some. And I managed to interview a couple of people from Everybody Wants Some. So Wyatt was not one of them, mind you, but
Mhm.
I did get a couple people from that film, so I was quite happy about that. But nonetheless, I think that part 6 is the best one. And I also think the final chapter was the runner-up for me. I think the final chapter is the scariest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very scary.
And I think the worst one
Don't
is
tell
Jason
Tracy.
X.
Don't tell Tracy that you don't like part 3. That'll be our little secret. I won't tell her that you like 4 and 6. Tracy will
Actually,
never.
actually, you know what? Here's a big issue I have with part 3 is that Tracy Savage is not the heroine.
Yeah.
She plays a pregnant woman, and Tracy and I talked about this in our interview, probably both of them actually, and they wrote her as pregnant, and then the screenwriter just kind of forgets about it. Do you know how interesting it would have been to have a pregnant final girl?
Yeah, he's kind of cool.
And I'll say one thing else too, and this was one of the reasons I left the Friday the 13th Part 3 Facebook group, because you can't have an opinion, I guess.
Mhm.
But I like how a lot of people crap all over Shelley. Well,
Mhm.
Shelley, I can kind of relate to. I know what it's like not to relate to women, how to do, because I was a poorly behaved kid growing up. Why? Because I was socially awkward. Well,
Mhm.
Shelley was socially awkward,
Mhm.
you know? And out of everybody in that film, Debbie's the only one that didn't come down on him. You got that conversation she has with Chris where she says, "Don't let," he goes, "Don't let it go get you down." He says, or that's just his way of getting attention. Don't let it get you. Like she didn't shit all over Shelley, but everybody else in the film does.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And somebody on Facebook on that group was saying, well, he didn't play pranks on her. Well, here's the thing. When you arrive at somebody's house and somebody, Vera, says, you're Shelly, I'm kind of like, you know what? You just want to walk away right there because she's already given you a thumbs down and she just met you, you know?
Hmm.
And I'm like, I mean, Andy's all right with them, but Chili's not friendly to him at all. And Chris, I don't know. I found Chris very unlikable. I often said that poor Rick should have went and spent the weekend with Mary Jo Conrad.
That's right.
Yep, because Rick, in many ways, yes, he was a bit handsy with her, but he wasn't rapey. You know, he
Hmm.
um, he was very understanding. He wanted to move forward with the relationship, but I don't know. I would have went a different direction with part three. I would have written it and had Tracy been the final girl, Debbie. You know, actually, I kind of wonder, especially with the way Tracy played Debbie, what kind of final girl she would have been, because somehow, and I don't know whether you'll agree with me, but somehow I can't see her being in the back of the cop car losing her mind,
Uh-huh.
because she kind of had a calm, cool demeanor to her.
Yeah.
What do
Well,
you think?
Tracy has that in real life too, so that's cool. She's cool in the gang for sure.
Yeah. And again, that's not a knock against Dana Kimmel for anybody that hears that.
Hmm.
Not a knock against her. I just didn't find Chris likable. But then again, there's a lot of people there I didn't find likable. Why?
Hmm.
Because I kind of related to the awkwardness of Shelley. And people say Shelley was a prick. Shelley was an asshole. No, Shelley was somebody who was trying to fit into a world that wouldn't accept him.
Hmm.
You know. Now,
Hmm.
kudos to Andy and Chris for setting them up with Vera. They set him up with somebody that looks like Catherine Parks. So kudos to them there. But and maybe Shelley could have handled that better. But still, I get it. So,
Hmm.
and I don't know. I got tired of arguing with these people in these groups. I left a wrestling group because of this same kind of bull. You know,
Hmm.
it's like I left all these groups on Facebook because it's like, I just get tired of the drama.
Sure. Oh yeah, Facebook's very dramatic for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But you were at the camp for part 1, weren't you?
I've been there. Yeah.
Talk
Mhm.
about that experience.
That was awesome. We kind of snuck in. It was years ago. Now they do like public tours and stuff, and you can spend the night. But about 10 years ago, my wife and I were in New Jersey, and we just drove by and kind of snuck in and walked around a little bit, and it was great. It was cool. It's funny. It was so long ago. I think we had flip phones that didn't even have cameras on them, so we didn't document it, which we should have. But
You
it
flipped
also
your
was real.
phone? You
I'm
flipped your
sorry.
phone?
Yeah, we had flip phones and they didn't have cameras, and so we didn't really document it. But it was also a last minute spur of the moment thing. We're like, oh, you know what? And we found it, and it was kind of a by accident, spontaneous thing. So it was neat just being there. It was very eerie to be where Kevin Bacon had bought the farm. So that was neat.
Look what I got. This is the original Friday the 13th script.
Long night at Camp Blood. Mhm.
I got that from the beautiful Adrienne King. She was had a deal on Facebook where you could order these.
Oh wow, cool.
And frankly, as far as these movies go, I could care less about Jason. I just think a lot of the women are very, very pretty. Part
Mhm.
1, I've always liked Adrienne King.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Adrian. I was a big Brenda fan. Laurie Bartram, rest in peace.
yeah.
I thought she had very solid film features, and she was really. It's a shame she, cancer took her from us too early. But they're all
Yeah.
different in that. I mean,
I've always found Adrienne King attractive, but in a
yeah.
very down to earth way. She's not a pin-up girl, but she didn't need to be. I
Hmm.
mean, I always liked Adrienne, so I got the script, and there are a few differences in it, and I don't. I was hoping to have her back on this year to talk about it, but she never did get back to me. So, oh well. Maybe it was the fact I brought up the anniversary of part two, and I think she wants to forget the 40th anniversary of green overalls and a turtleneck.
But I'm a diehard Amy Steele fan, so it's
I
hard for me
like
to.
Amy Steele too. I've never had her on either, but I've had Adrienne on. I had Adrienne King on before I found out the snake thing too, but
Ah.
nonetheless, it was Janine Taylor I heard in an interview that Friday interview that first mentioned that, and I was
Hmm.
like, wasn't pleased with Sean Cunningham when I found that out because he would have made that decision.
Yeah. Have you ever met Sean at a convention or anything?
Nope. And Sean is about to get his world flipped out upside down when Hearts of Darkness: The Making of the Final Friday comes out.
Oh, he is. How? What do you mean?
That's the documentary that Adam Marcus is making about the making of and the diverse history of Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm excited for that.
Sean Cunningham was at a convention, and I read this in Fangoria magazine in 1993,
Hmm.
where the quote is, "Get that damn hockey mask off of Jason."
Yeah, get it out of the movie. Yeah, they say that in the Crystal Lake Memories DVD. Yeah.
Well, when Sean was addressed about this at one of the cons, he said that is an effing lie.
Oh, wow.
Well, Adam Marcus didn't take that too kindly.
Hmm.
Adam said he was 23, fresh out of film school when he did that movie. So he said either he's the most powerful out of school filmmaker ever who can override Sean S. Cunningham and decide to take the hockey mask out of the movie,
Hmm.
or Sean Cunningham lied to save his ass there at the con.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
So
behind the scenes stuff goes on with any movie. You never know what's really. Um, so yeah, it's unsurprising. We'll see. Who knows?
well,
I'm excited to see that documentary though.
I'm on as associate producer on that one, and they got a few interviews to do on it, but I don't blame Adam because he was probably quite crushed when he heard that said.
Hmm.
Yep. So anyway, if you haven't seen his movie Secret Santa, check that out. That is great. Have
Awesome. I
you
will.
have you
I,
seen
I have
Secret
not seen
Santa?
it now. No, I want to see it.
Oh my goodness, you gotta see it.
Is it on Netflix? Is it on Amazon Prime?
I don't know. I got the Blu-ray of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta see it. It is crazy.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. I showed it to my younger brother, my tech guy, a couple of years ago at Christmas time, and he loved it.
Oh, cool.
It's gory, it's hilarious,
Hmm.
it's over the top in all the ways that work.
That's awesome.
If you haven't seen Secret Santa, you got to see Secret Santa.
Yeah, I'm a huge Adam Marcus fan. I really like. He's a great guy. So yeah, I'll definitely
Yeah,
check it out.
yeah. And anyway, the Bone Garden, I got that here, and I got you on here today because I know you're making shadows. Now, groundhogs do that too, you know.
Hmm.
To talk about the shadows you're making.
Oh, it's actually not a scary movie. It's an art house drama kind of a thing about three siblings who are cleaning out a summer camp that their father ran.
Hmm.
And then all the tension that arrives, he's passed away, and they, digging up old memories and all the tension and arguments that come up. So it's just, it's actually not about, it's not scary or anything. But it's funny. It was kind of inspired by Friday the 13th. I was watching the original for the umpteenth time. And there's a scene where Adrian's packing up the kitchen right before Crazy Ralph comes out of the pantry. And I thought, wow, what if she was like packing up a summer camp, maybe after it had closed? Maybe her father ran it. Maybe he died. And, the wheels started running. So in that little 5-second clip of Adrian packing up pots and pans in the kitchen, you never know where inspiration is going to come from. Shadows was born. It's based on a song by Tomo Nakayama, who my idol Lynn Shelton used a lot. And when I heard his song Shadows, I thought I need to put this in a movie. So I just started writing it from there, and it's just about 3 siblings cleaning out a camp after their dad died, and all the tension and that arises from something like that, and all the memories it brings back. So it's kind of a little art house drama kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and initially, it's funny. Initially, I wanted Tracy and Tammy again, but it became real obvious real quick I wasn't going to raise any money. Everyone has these Indiegogos and these GoFundMe's, and 99% of them fail because everyone seems to have their hand out wanting for something. And I'm like, it was my idol Lynn Shelton and Phantasm's Don Coscarelli who told me, look, shoot it on weekends with no name actors and get it done. Don Coscarelli said something that almost knocked me off my chair because I hadn't thought about it. Don said, Mike, when I made Phantasm, no one knew who Angus Scrimm was. He's like, there was no name actor in Phantasm. And I shot that on weekends in 1977. He's like, make your movie. Lynn Shelton, rest in peace, Lynn, was so good to me. She said the same thing. Just get it done. You don't need Paul Rudd in it. Just get it done.
Yes, but you do need Tracy Savage. Come on, man. I'm dying here.
So, well, you got the fanboy. She'll be in that. You'll love that.
Yeah, and Shadows is a short film, right?
No, it's an hour. It's almost 2
is
hours.
it?
Hour and 53 minutes. Yep.
An hour and 53 minutes and no Tracy?
No Tracy. It does take place at the summer camp, though.
Oh, I'm pained.
And all my friends who, they know I love scary movies. When we were in pre-production, I had friends calling me saying, "That's great, you're shooting at a summer camp, dude. I'll do it. I'll be a victim. I'm cool with nudity. You can cover me in blood." I'm like, "Hey, you know what? It's not that kind of movie, but thanks." So anyway, yeah. I hope it doesn't disappoint.
You could do it like Little Darlings, and the blood part could be maybe they hit their time of the month.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know the wheels are turning now. Gee, here's another movie.
Yeah, here we go.
No, but yeah, I've been watching your process with Shadow. So when is that coming out?
It premieres, I don't know when this will air, but it premieres next month in July at a theater in Baltimore. And once in, I've been sending it to film festivals. Film festivals are unfortunately incredibly political. It's all in who you know. And a lot of times, if Julia Roberts isn't in your film, they don't want to hear from you. So I've been denied several festivals. Hopefully I'll get into 1 or 2. I'm hoping I get it into Seattle because the guy who did the music is in Seattle. And he lifted the film up to another tier. He plays with Sarah Cahoon. If you haven't heard her, go on YouTube and type in Sarah Cahoon. But Jason Cardone did the score, and it's just really great. It's really great. It adds another layer, another character to the film. And he's Seattle-based. Tomo, who wrote the song Shadows, is Seattle-based. It's totally inspired by my idol Lynn Shelton, who passed away last year. She was Seattle-based. So I'd love to show it in Seattle. But, I'm going to wait to hear back from these festivals, and then I'll probably just put it on Amazon Prime. Festivals aren't what they used to be, unfortunately, and it's a shame.
Did you do what we talked about before with Bone Garden? Did you get the assistant of a named filmmaker in it?
Oh, no, we did John Waters' assistants in the Bone Garden because John said, "No, are you crazy?" So no, I wish we should have gotten like John Carpenter's assistant this time or somebody like that, but no, we didn't. I missed opportunity there. Next movie for sure. We'll get let's see, we'll get Don Coscarelli's assistant or someone like that.
Well, you know what? You know what though, and I got to retrace this too because the Bone Garden really came by accident for me.
Hmm.
Um, it was one of those nights I was looking up Tracy Savage online, and there was images of her from Bone Garden, and I also had actually before I saw the images, her name was associated in the synopsis. I had Ron Milkey and Paul Crack. I actually thought it was fan fiction
Oh, wow.
because I was
Mhm.
like, who's going to have all these people from this franchise in this in a movie? Anyway, I saw photos of her from the movie, and I was like, this is a real movie?
Mhm.
Yeah. And I'm a guy that likes to look for the story, so I thought I should get the director of this movie with you on the show and talk about this, and
Mhm.
it gives an opportunity to get this film a little more exposure. And thanks to you, I had Tracy on the show. We're still working on Ron. I think he's still chasing Crazy Ralph.
Probably.
Did you
Yeah.
know at the end of Friday the 13th, one of those cops on the beach is supposed to be Officer Dorf?
Yeah, Ralph, Ron told me that. He goes, I think I'm in the movie twice though, because I'm at the end when I were calling to her. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. That's the thing. With all due respect to the guy in part two, I almost wish they had brought Ron back for part two and he gets it in the head with the hammer.
Yeah.
When Jason, because that's my only beef back then. And they didn't realize sequels were going to be so big, but there's really no continuity in those first four films. The cops always change, their uniforms always change. It's always a different sheriff, that kind of thing. But yeah, he did tell me that it's him on the beach at the end calling for Adrian when she's at the in the canoe.
Well, if it was Sheriff Buford T. Justice of Texas, he would have
Hmm.
solved the problem.
He would have,
He
the
would
band.
have solved it.
That's right.
Yep,
That's
he would have kept on it. But nonetheless, I enjoyed the Bone Garden, and Shadows does not have to be a slasher film. I will gladly get this on disc. You go give physical media of Shadows.
I'm hoping that's really expensive and it's unfortunately going away. Nobody does it anymore. But I want to get it on Blu-ray and
I
have a nice.
still do the physical
Oh,
media.
so do I. I always will, as long as
Yeah,
it's absolutely.
you
So
know, I,
absolutely.
I always do the physical media. I've got some new Blu-ray just kind of sitting out here that I've got since I've lived here in the apartment. I
Hmm.
actually just got my Terrifier Blu-ray because I interviewed Art the Clown himself on here last month.
Oh,
So
great.
yep. So I'm always willing to check out something. I get Shadows on physical media and show you a little support. So with Shadows, you got an unknown cast, but talk about the people that you got in this
Yeah, I
film.
got Lynn Shelton told me, and so did Don Coscarelli, really. But Lynn said, Mike, if you're going to use no-name actors, make damn sure they're good. And the lead actress who plays Marnie, Kendra North, is fantastic. She carries the film. She's sensational. And then the woman who plays her sister, Trish, had never acted before, and you would never know it. She does a great job. And then the guy who plays Dean, it's two sisters and a brother. Um, all these people did a great job and brought so much to the table. And the cool thing is, and I won't say what they are, I'll let you try to find them. There's a nice Friday the 13th part 3 reference in it. That nobody in the cast got because they're not horror geeks like me, but horror geeks like you will definitely get it. I'm like, oh, so I'll let you find that out for yourself. But you can I think you can actually see it in the trailer. But if you watch the trailer, the official trailer, there's like, oh, okay, I see. But I did a few in jokes here and there because I was shooting at a summer camp and when in Rome. But no, the cast is great. Kendra North really carries the film, and she raised everyone's performance around her. Trish and Rick Scott, everyone did a great job. Thank God, because like it's really hard when you have no name actors. It's hard when you have a name. I know a guy who made a movie with Karen Allen, and he said he had trouble getting it into festivals. And Karen Allen, she's been around forever. She's in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yep.
How's that? How's that not enough star power for you? But you'd be surprised how these festivals work. So I'm proud of the cast. They're not household names, and they probably won't ever be. But they did a great job in my film, and that's what matters.
Yeah. How long did it take you to shoot this? Did it take you as long to shoot this as it did Bone Garden? Or was
No, we
this an
shot
easy?
Well, no, we shot on weekends, but all in all, it was about 17 days. The Bone Garden was 24 days.
Mm-hmm.
So this was 17 days. It was very much guerrilla filmmaking, run and gun.
Mm-hmm.
But my DP backed out after the second day, so yours truly had to shoot it. So be very forgiving when you see that.
Mm-hmm.
My executive producer Blair Holmes sent me a camera, a really nice
Mm-hmm.
Panasonic camera, so we used that. And we shot at several different camps that through the magic of editing, we were able to
Mm-hmm.
merge into one camp. I thought that would be the easiest part. When I wrote it, I thought, oh, we'll shoot at Camp Novi Bosco and Tracy and Tammy will come back. And then, that's just dollar signs there. And I'm like, okay, we don't have any money. So, but that's okay.
It's funny
I sent it
through.
too. I think I sent it to Peter Barton from Part 4 to play Dean.
Mm-hmm.
And he liked it, but like I said, once it became obvious we were shooting on weekends, then all the name talent kind of went out the window, unfortunately. But I'm proud of my actors, and they did a great job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, through the Bone Garden, I've had you. This is your third time on. I've had Tracy on here a couple times. I've had Tammy Cates on here.
Yeah, I love Tammy.
She just celebrated her birthday not too
I
long
know,
ago.
29. Good for
Yeah,
her.
yeah. I asked her if she was ever going to take you to man camp.
No, God, no. I'm not man enough for that. But she
Well,
can come back for Bone Garden too, which I have an idea for Bone Garden too. So I'm gonna, that's kind of
you
letting
gonna
this
bring
be.
Tracy back for Bone Garden too?
Oh God, no. I'm gonna recast her with Chris, your favorite from Part 3. And
Oh,
we'll,
don't do that.
we'll bring the snake back from Part 1. Turns out he didn't die after all.
Mm,
So
yeah. No, I'm open for more Tracy. Well, what's going on with wood floors?
that kind of stalled. Alexandra Paul is very interested. I talk to her, maybe every other month, and I'm hoping maybe Shadows could raise some attention for that. I'm proud of Shadows. I sent just the screenplay to a competition, the Cole Fellowship competition that the Academy does. And I got like a nice honorable mention, which was really nice. They said it was in the top 10% of like 30,000 entries. And so I was proud of the script. It's definitely, I can't write a script better than Shadows. So I was proud of that. Unfortunately, it doesn't get you an agent or a manager, but if I could gain a little momentum with Shadows, I could be like, well, here's Wood Floors that I want to do in black and white. Alexander Paul said she'd be in it. I even wrote this little scene where there's a scene where Alexander Paul's walking around town with her, the guy who plays her boyfriend. And I'm going to have them like walk past Christine and see if anyone noticed. So I have like the 57 Plymouth parked in the distance and just having them kind of walk by. I'm all about my in jokes when I do filmmaking. Supposed to be fun, and I like doing little in jokes that only diehard horror geeks will get. So, but Wood Floors isn't a horror film either, just so you know. So it's kind of a lot like Shadow.
Is Alexandra Paul still going to be in it?
I hope so. I'd love to work with her. She's criminally underrated, in my opinion. Really down to earth and stunningly beautiful. Really good actress. So I'm hoping that she'll still be in it. That'd be great.
Yeah. No, no, I think it's great you're doing what you're doing, and yeah, I'll see it. Even if it's a drama, I'll see it.
Oh, good, good, good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. A lot of people think my show is strictly horror. My show is strictly everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just grew up with horror.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
And who have you had on from Halloween? Didn't you tell me you had somebody on from Halloween, or am I misremembering?
I had Sandy Johnson on from the original.
Oh yeah, I love her. She's so
Yeah,
cool.
I've
I'm
had her on twice.
so glad she does conventions now. That's so great. I met her at Monster Mania right before the whole pandemic, and she couldn't have been sweeter. Sweet as sugar. Really sweet.
Yeah, I've got some pictures here that she signed too. If you go on her website,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I've got some pictures here. Actually, here's my Sandy Johnson story for you. I got a message from her one night um, because she knew I had interviewed Joel Bender, the director of Gas Pump Girls, which
Oh,
she
okay.
is in with Kirsten Baker. And she wanted to know how to get in touch with Joel Bender because she said fans have been asking her for photos from Gas Pump Girls.
Mm-hmm.
So I had Joel's number, so I gave him a call. And Joel at the time was dealing with shingles and on some medication. So after a few moments, he remembered who I was. We got talking, and I told him what Sandy's request was, and he was like, "Yeah, yeah, put her in touch with me, give her my number, and this and that." So I did so, and Sandy contacted Joel and got some pictures uh, from him. They were very, I guess, rough print pictures, but she got them done up so that they were all slick,
Oh, cool.
and she got some done up for herself, and she sent them back to Joel. Well, she contacted Joel to find out if they arrived safely, and his wife responded and said that he had seen the finished photos and loved them, but he had just passed away.
Ah, wow.
Yeah. I'm
Gee.
glad I had him on the show, and I was glad that I was able to connect them,
Hmm.
But that is my Sandy Johnson story. Plus, I sent her a bag cat calendar in the mail at Christmas time.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. I send them to a few people, but I sent one to Sandy because I know she's got a cat.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and plus, Sandy also did the Doubtfire Face challenge, and her husband was dressed up like Michael Myers for it.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He put a pie in her face for suicide and depression awareness. She nominated Nick Castle, PJ Souls, and Felissa Rose.
Oh, okay.
Now we just got to find out a way to get that to them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yep. Yep. So yeah. I'm hoping Tracy will do one of those.
hmm
Yep, I'm hoping.
hmm
But anyway, nonetheless, yeah, that was interesting, and I'm glad that her husband has got the bug for these conventions as well, because apparently Sandy's husband loves them as much as she does.
Oh, great. That's great.
Yeah,
Really good.
that's an interesting backstory about how they found Sandy Johnson, because
Hmm.
she was out of the business, but it wasn't like Adrienne King, who had left because of a stalker back in the day.
Hmm.
Sandy just left because, family issues and this and that, and she just went into another avenue. So she wasn't even paying attention to even the Halloween franchise.
Right.
So her story and how she was found was very interesting, and a lot of it stemmed from the fact that they needed her permission to sign off on Halloween 2018 with her footage.
Ah, okay. Very cool.
And Sean Clark had a little bit of a hand in that, and getting that
Hmm.
out there too. So yeah, Sandy's awesome,
Hmm.
awesome. Yep, yep. But
Well, I've enjoyed talking to you again today, my man. I really have. This has been this has been great. I don't know when this will air, but the Shadows will premiere next month on July 23rd. And
mhm,
then, we'll go from there. Hopefully we'll get some distribution or something from that. We'll see. Fingers crossed.
fingers
So,
crossed.
yeah.
Tell me, why is it every time every time you post that you're watching a movie, you're always watching the opposite to what I'm watching? Like, is there a conspiracy?
Yeah.
Is there a
Yeah. No,
conspiracy?
it's a conspiracy. Yeah, definitely. They're out to get
Yeah.
me. Uh-huh.
I mean, last week I was at the theater and I watched the Hitman's wife's bodyguard. I could have sworn you were watching the Hitman's husband's bodyguard.
No, yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I always gotta throw those in there somewhere, some way. How often do you in touch with Tracy and Tammy?
Oh, yeah, pretty regularly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good. Yeah, they're good friends.
Yeah, periodically, I say something. I don't. There's few people like Lisa Langwa and Nancy McLaughlin. I talk to pretty much weekly,
Hmm.
because I'm close with them. But every once in a while, I'll say something online to. I know when Tammy had her birthday, there was well, there's charity things that was on there for it, and I made a donation to it, you know. But
Uh-huh.
yep, um, to show my support. But nonetheless, yeah, it's been interesting. Do you have any interest in collectibles,
Collectibles, I'm sorry, from,
films?
oh, sure. Yeah, I got some autographs and stuff. And I used to live in Hollywood with my wife. So we have some autographs and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Why'd
Yeah.
you move to where you are now?
I didn't want to raise children in Los Angeles. So,
I
yeah.
like that little propeller hat your daughter has.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome, isn't it? It's great.
You must be proud. She does. She's a musician too, huh?
Yeah. She's great. Yeah. She's self-taught. She, is always up in her room laying down some tracks and stuff. Very proud of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you
My,
direct your movies, do you wear the propeller hat?
I do not. No, that's her hat. So I wear enough hats when you make these low budget films. You wear about 30 hats when it comes to writing, directing, producing, production managing, that kind of stuff.
You didn't let Tracy wear the propeller hat? That would that would look good on her.
Oh no, she would have none of that. So
Oh, come on. Well, why you go? Well, I suppose you're going to try to get wood floors going after shadows. But do you have anything in mind after wood floors? Do you have a long
yeah,
term?
actually, the reason I have to go right now is just because I have a meeting with someone. I can't say anything about it, but I did write a slasher film, and meeting with someone about that. Fingers crossed. You do lots of meetings. Most of them go nowhere, but we do have something coming up pretty soon. And I'm, going to talk it over with this guy, and I have a DP who wants to shoot it and stuff like that. So we'll see. But I hadn't written a horror film in years, like since The Bone Garden. It had been years, and I banged out this little slasher film last February. So I'm meeting with some people, today, in a little, I don't know when this will air, but in a little while, to maybe try to move forward on that too. So,
Tracy Savage in it?
we'll see. It's real hush hush right now, but God willing. So I'll keep you
Well,
posted. Believe me, if it comes to fruition, I will scream it from the highest mountain. But right now, I'm kind of keeping it. Has to stay on the DL just for now. But yeah, constantly plugging away, pushing the boulder up the hill.
well, I'm hoping that 13 Fanboy comes to our theater here because I really, really want to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, really want to see that. But I will definitely check out Shadows when that comes out.
Okay,
I've
thank
been
you. Yeah,
I don't like I said, you don't have to make a slasher film. You put me in touch with Tracy, so I'll
oh,
give you my support regardless what you're
thank you.
doing.
I appreciate
I will
it.
give you my support regardless what you're doing. Did you ever put your kids in your movies?
Yeah, both my sons are in shadows, and then in flashback sequences, and then Claire's going to be in a film I wrote called South Pass. Once we get funding for that, so.
Did she go
Um,
sing?
No, no, no. She might be a street singer. She might just walk across. She does have a line in it. She says, "What are you nuts?" So, she'll definitely be in it. So yeah. And my boys have been in, a couple of films. My son Wyatt's in a film I directed called In Your Afterglow. So he has a big part in that. So yeah, they're making their little low budget films right now. So they're always with the camera and stuff.
Did she go wear the propeller hat?
Probably, yeah, probably, yeah.
I like that propeller hat. Well, you know what? We look forward to Shadows.
Thanks, my man. Thanks for having me on again.
Well, you know what? I was glad to have you back.
Yeah.
I've been following what you're doing, and like I said, when this comes to fruition, I'll put you on the list for next year to have you back,
Okay.
and we'll further discuss this, and we'll further plot and getting Tracy back in your movies.
Okay. Yeah. God will, definitely.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
First short film, Loretta, which is on YouTube. If you want to watch
I
my,
saw it.
yeah,
I
Loretta.
saw it. I saw it. Of course
He
I
played.
saw it.
So yeah,
Of course I saw it.
and it's good talking to you again today, my man. Absolutely, and we will stay in touch for sure.
Show the Bone Garden up there on the screen one more
Oh
time.
yeah, go. There we go. You can
Yes,
get it on eBay and I think Amazon Marketplace, and then I'll let you know soon as the distributor gets their act together, where you can watch it online and stuff.
People, check out the Bone Garden. You got the gorgeous Tracy Savage. You got Tammy Cates, who's awesome. You got
Very
Paul
awesome.
Kratka in this. You
Yep.
got Ron Milkey, Officer Dorff himself in this.
Chainsaw Sally, April Burrow's in it. So yeah.
And you got John Waters' assistant in it.
Right, Susan Allenback. Love you, Susan. She's in A Dirty Shame, the John Waters film. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a dirty shame.
Yeah. So yeah, check it out.
I actually met Mink Stoll from Pink Flamingos at
Oh, cool.
Horrorama back in 2017. So that was
Awesome.
interesting. And she did a Q&A,
Mhm.
and I saw it screened at the Royal Theater, and that was an interesting audience
Yeah.
for Pink Flamingos. But nonetheless, we wish you the best on Shadows,
Thank
and
you, sir.
wish for the best on the prospects of Wood Floors. Hopefully you'll have Alexandra Paul in that, and
God willing. Yeah.
yeah, hopefully things take off from there. But
Okay.
it was wonderful having you come on here today.
Thanks for having me. I had a great time. Thank you.
Yeah, and yeah, wish you luck with that. God bless you. You got your second vaccine yet?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I got the Johnson & Johnson, so I was one and done. But everyone in my family got their second dose recently, so we're fully vaxxed and ready to rock.
I got my first one. I got to schedule my second. I got my first one at the end of May. How does the second one feel? The first one didn't affect me at all, but I've been hearing this and that about the effects of the second one.
My wife got a little sick, but my kids really didn't. They were fine. So I had the Johnson & Johnson. That's one and done, and I felt a little achy for a few hours, but I was fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Get your vax. Absolutely.
Yeah, I got to, because I want to travel again this fall. So
Yeah.
yeah. Well, Mike, it was
Okay.
wonderful having you on today.
Thanks,
Keep doing
Greg.
what
Have a
you
good one.
keep doing what you're doing.
I
And if you're
will.
yeah, and yeah, we'll be seeing Shadows when it comes out.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yep. Take care.
Take care.
God bless, and enjoy your day.
You too, buddy. Thank you. See you,
Yep.
Greg.
Bye bye.